You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball podcast brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and I am the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com and at Yahoo Sports Australia. And you can find me on Twitter as always at redrock_bball and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Today, we haven't done this for a while. We're looking back at the top rookies in the NBA. Michael Bolton.
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it indeed. Now, these are the rookie rankings for standard category leagues over the last couple of weeks, which basically means post All-Star break. Looking at the rookies and how they rank so far, it's been a pretty rough year for rookies. We sort of knew that heading into this draft. It's probably going to be similar next season. Although I think I'm not sure about the fantasy value of those rookies next season. I need to go through and do a whole bunch of stuff in projecting their numbers out once the college and international seasons are over. But it's been a rough year for the rookies so far. But in saying that, let's have a look at where everyone sits post All-Star break at the moment. And number one on your rookie list is no surprise. It's Coby White of the Chicago Bulls. 4 games post break, 28 points per game, hitting 53% of his shots and 91% from the line on 5 attempts, which is a massive, massive positive. Now, there's obviously regression coming here because White won't remain a 53% shooter or a 50% three-point shooter, and he's averaging under 3 assists, under a steal, only 4 rebounds, and as a point guard, those numbers aren't going to cut it. But 28 points and 4.5 threes is excellent. He's the 22nd ranked player overall during this time frame, and he should be rostered at this point in all 12-team leagues. But again, there is going to be some regression. He's not that typical point guard who's going to give you 6-7 assists, low assists, and it's all going to come down to volume and whether those shots can actually go in. And at the moment, they are. At number 2 on the rookie list is Kendrick Nunn of the Miami Heat. 3 of the games post All-Star break have been without Jimmy Butler, and he's averaged 21 points in those games. 53% shooting with 5 assists and a steal. Really strong numbers. Pretty good usage. We'll see exactly how this. I'm skeptical of Nunn. Everybody knows how skeptical I am of what he's going to do rest of the season once Hero comes back and Butler's rolling. But at this point, this little section of games post All-Star breaks been pretty good. He is only the 121st ranked player over the course of the season, despite playing 30 minutes a night, because there has been a lot of fluctuations in his shooting numbers and his percentages. But for now, he's pushed back into that 12-team discussion. I'm not sure it's going to last. And again, if you're looking as a preemptive drop, I think he's someone who should be on the chopping block. But good numbers post All-Star break. Anyway, this is where the list gets absolutely wacky. At number 3, Juan Toscano-Anderson, the 56th ranked player post All-Star break, because he's averaging 1.7 steals and 1 block per game. He's only scoring 10 points, but he's giving us over 5 rebounds. He's giving us over 3 assists, and remarkably, he's shooting the ball well. This is a guy that shoots horribly from 3 in the G League level. He's at 33% in these NBA games. Look, his ability to get steals is a real thing, I believe. How his rotation role looks once Steph returns and once we get Draymond Green back is still going to be up in the air. But as a streamer for steals in deeper leagues, I think Toscano-Anderson's at least going to be part of the rotation as we move forward. And it's been a nice little cameo. His teammate, the lubricant Ky Bowman, comes in at number 4, 65th ranked player overall post All-Star break. 11, 5, and 3 in 28 minutes. 2 steals and a block, but he is going to lose an absolute ton of minutes when Steph Curry returns. He'll probably go back into the teens if he even plays at all. They might run Curry and Poole as the point guards. Hard to see Bowman having anywhere near this value. He's just a real short-term stream sort of a guy at this stage, and probably just more for 14-team leagues. But the numbers here have been okay. The 2 steals and the 1 block per game is really bumping him up. The next guy we look at is Cam Reddish, the 5th rookie over this time frame. He had 1 dud in there, but in the 4 games post All-Star break, 15 points with almost a 3, 1.8 steals. And you'll see those last 3 guys, Toscano-Anderson, Bowman, and Reddish, they are this high in the rankings because they're averaging 1.7, 2, and 1.8 steals respectively, and 1 block, and 0.8 blocks. Those defensive numbers go so far to pushing up players in the rankings, and if you're building a team based on exclusively overall rankings, it does skew things quite quite a bit because of the impact that steals have, and that's what's pushed these guys up. Now, Reddish has more standard league value than Toscano-Anderson and Bowman. He is a guy that can produce in the threes and steals category. Fine for 14-team leagues. I think he's a must roster for 14s. In 12s, he's sort of a peripheral type of guy, but I've got no problem with him being a 12-team league player, and he's looked much better in the last few weeks. The next guy we look at, number 6 on this rookie list, is Nicolo Melli of the New Orleans Pelicans. 23 minutes a night. He's 82nd overall in this time frame. 3 triples, 5 rebounds, 1.3 blocks on 56% shooting, shooting 52% from 3. Now, he's a very good three-point shooter. He's not this good of a three-point shooter, but they're using him a lot next to Zion Williamson, and that is obviously helping his playing time. As a three-point streamer in 14-team leagues, I think Melli is someone absolutely we have to look at with how much he's playing and how well he's playing that role. But in 12-team leagues, this top 100 little stretch from Melli is probably not something that is going to be able to continue. Again, I told you we're going to get weird with these names. At number 7, John Conchar of the Memphis Grizzlies. He's played 18 minutes a game in 2 games, but he's averaged 6 points. That's shit. 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.5 steals, and shooting 75% from the field. He is a weird player who contributes right across the box score, and with Brandon Clark and Jaren Jackson Jr. and Justice Winslow all out, Conchar's got a chance to be in the rotation for these 15 minutes a night and 16-team leagues. That at least gives you some ability to use him during that time. He might even be like a 14-team league guy over the next week. There's a real possibility in 20 minutes a night that he can be a top 120, top 150 sort of a player with his ability to contribute right across the box score. He is an interesting player. He is almost 24 years of age, but his weird numbers, go and look at his college numbers. They're absolutely ridiculous. His ability to contribute right across the board has translated to Summer League, and now in these limited NBA minutes has translated across here as well. Number 8 on the rookie list is Darius Garland of the Cavs, 98th post All-Star break. So we've got 8 rookies in the top 100 after the All-Star break. Names like Conchar, Melli, Bowman, and Toscano-Anderson, and Nunn. How many of those guys were drafted? The only guys in that top 8 that I've talked about that were drafted so far have been Garland, Reddish, and White. That is it. That's a pretty weird combination. Anyway, back to Garland. 36 minutes a night, 14 points, 4 assists, a steal a game, 48% shooting, hasn't missed a free throw, 2 threes a game. I think he is a fringe-ish 12-team league guy at the moment who is playing better than he played to begin the year. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I would have him in 12-team leagues over like Bowman and Toscano-Anderson, probably over Reddish as well. That depends a little bit on what you're looking for. And I think there's a realistic chance or a realistic chance that he finishes the season better than Kendrick Nunn. His last game wasn't too good, but he is playing again significantly better, and he's available in a ton of Yahoo leagues, as are most of these guys that we've talked about who are in this top 8 so far. And then the 9th player, the 9th rookie here, is Paul Washington Jr., 108th over the last post-All-Star break period, 13.5 points with 5 rebounds, 1.3 steals. The blocks aren't really there. The percentages are rough. He's hitting a lot of threes, which can wax and wane with Washington. He's been inconsistent all season. He's the 132nd ranked player this year. I think that's about the right spot for him for the rest of the season, which puts him at the back end of a 12-team league and out of the roster spots for 10-teamers. Absolutely solid 14-team league guy. Again, he has these stretches which look good, and then he has these poor games, and maybe he's this.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
That's pretty much exactly what Paul Washington Jr. is at this stage. Let's just round out the top 12 now. Eric Pascal's at 10, Rui Hachimura is at 11, and Luguentz Dort is at number 12. Some interesting names who aren't in this top 12. Kevin Porter comes in at number 15, who has had a couple of games limited by foul trouble and ejections. Jordan Poole way down here at about number 20. DeAndre Hunter just behind him, and Zion Williamson just behind him. Now, Zion's averaging 29 points per game, so why is he so low? Well, 60% from the line on 12 attempts per game. That is why. That is a huge negative impact. Plus, no steals, no blocks, no threes, under 6 rebounds, and under 2.5 assists. The scoring and the efficiency, he's got down pat already. He's got to improve all those other areas, and I think he will. But at the moment, it's been pretty rough. Jarrett Culver below him. Ja Morant significantly down there. Morant is the 255th ranked player over the last post-All-Star break period. Michael Porter is 291st. The painter Matisse Thybulle is 292nd. Sekou Doumbouya is 322nd. Rowan Barrett Jr. is 340th, just marginally ahead of his season-long ranking of 279th. So it's been a rough year for rookies. I expect most of these guys to improve next year, but again, in terms of their overall dynasty value, I'm a little bit down on them compared to other rookie seasons. That'll do it for me today, guys. I'll be back later on today to recap Thursday's action and preview Friday's games. Don't forget to subscribe, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.